This is E-Talk with Kingsley Croft. We're talking with Ileana Borbon, an English teacher from Costa Rica. Good morning, Ileana.
Good morning.
Ileana, maybe you could tell us how you got started teaching English.
Well, I've always loved languages, and I started teaching when I was at the university. I was studying English as a major, and I was fascinated in teaching, and I decided to become a teacher.
And when did you get started teaching English online?
This was 4 years ago because I discovered that there was a need, and it was very interested to me because it was new and it was sort of a new adventure. And when I started, I discovered that people really were really interested in learning at home or at their offices, and that's the way it came out.
Now, I understand you also teach English, or as well as English, you teach Spanish and French?
Right. And most of my students right now are from Asia. They are Japanese and Chinese, and they are learning both. Most of them know some English already, but they want to improve it.
How do you deal with students that have problems online? Perhaps they have technical problems or a poor internet connection?
Okay, first of all, you need certain level of good connection to be able to have a good class, right? But if you have, in one day you have a poor connection, what we do is we assign some material to be practiced at home or at the office, so the student doesn't miss his or her time. But normally the connection is good.
Is teaching online your primary job?
In this moment, yes, but I do also teach face-to-face here in my country.
How do you suggest students learn English?
Well, the very first thing that I tell my students is that they have to describe what their needs and interests are, so to be able to have a class planned according to his or her needs. Because if you have a very good class, but the student is not interested in that, it doesn't work.
What do you see as emerging ESL markets?
Well, with this world crisis, people are losing their jobs, and they have found out that learning a language is very important to have better opportunities when applying for a new job. And so I think this is maybe one of the good things about being a teacher and a language teacher, that you do have chances of having students. Of course, the problem is they have, not all of them have the money to pay for your class, right? But the ones who have, they are going to do it because they need that for the jobs.
Let's talk about the Asian markets for a moment.
Well, I find Japanese students very, very motivated. They are really hard workers, and they know they do have a competition out there, and so they try to be better every day. And as I told you before, they normally learn both languages. They have, for example, an hour class, and they learn English and Spanish, half and half hour.
Now, what about the Chinese market?
I have students in Hong Kong and also in Taiwan. People who live in Hong Kong, for example, they speak good English, but the ones that are out from the other parts of China, they do not speak that good English, so they are worried about it because also of the job positions they want to have. It's an enormous market over there. They are really interested in learning English, and online classes are very attractive to them because they are always working with the computers.
What is the most difficult thing you find about teaching English online?
Well, it's not that different in relation to being in front of a class or face to face. It will be, for example, pronunciation, because there are more exceptions than rules. I would say that the difficulties can be solved with modeling the language. Good thing about the online is that when you have your camera, for example, it does help when having beginners because you can mimic your vocabulary, but it will be just very similar to
Maybe you
face.
could tell us about some of your best teaching experiences.
Well, I have many of them, but for example, one of the things I love the most is when I learn about other cultures. This is one of the things that is so nice about online classes, that you don't have limitations or geographical limitations, and so you can be part of a different world, even though you live in your own country.
We've been talking to Ileana Borbon, who is an online English teacher who's taught for 25 years and lives and works in Costa Rica. Thank you, Ileana,
Thank you.
and have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.